all right. We got ourselves CLEM down here in the bottom right side. Liquid's CLEM. 2 racks there on the low ground. We don't see that from him too often. He's up against Dark in the top left. It is the semifinals of the ESL Americas Weekly, number 198. Map 1, Site Delta. And what a bizarre opening. I don't see 2 racks Reaper from CLEM that often, but I think he basically just wants to force Dark to stay 2 base. Dark never opens up 15 hatch, 15 pool. So if you go for 5 Reapers off this, you can make sure you can cancel a 3rd base, even if he goes immediately for Ling speed. And I think that's exactly what you're going to do. Now notice Dark even pulled off minerals to get on gas, so he really wants a very quick Ling speed. Looks like this is no 3rd barracks. It's a nice way to put pressure on. Keep in mind that Dark absolutely preyed on CLEM. CLEM was unstoppable in TVZ a few years ago. Finally started getting into the international events, and Dark just beat him repeatedly. Dark would pick him up and smash him on the ground. Dark was so good at destroying CLEM over and over again, and he'd just counterattack him. He'd always fight where CLEM didn't want to fight. He'd never let CLEM get any momentum or aggression going, and he'd really shut him down before he could get going. So let's see what he's got in store for us. Already a few more Lings on the way, as well as Ling speed. CLEM with some nice micro so far. Now, keep in mind, CLEM's already started up a 4th Reaper, guys, so he is indeed doing that 5 Reaper build that I was thinking about. I think we will see when he gets 50 gas. We'll find out. No! He just cancelled it. He builds a factory instead. He's changed his mind. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Rafa. Appreciate that. Oh, okay, Reaper's jumping in. Yeah, he's not really going to get any damage. All he can do is keep him on for 3rd, and I guess with 3 Reapers only, it's not that big a commitment. Reactor goes down behind it. I do expect a tech lab in the near future as well, but he doesn't have the money for it right now. Building SCVs. 3rd command center on the high ground as well. This is going to be like an economic 2-1-1 sort of follow-up. Tech lab finally does start there for CLEM. Now, Dark's building a lot of Zerglings. Already, he's going up to 10 Zerglings, so he wants to push back these Reapers without fully saturating this base. He said 12 workers is enough. I need that 3rd base. That's the priority. Get the Lings out, surround these Reapers, and then we can go back to droning. So he's going to build a total of 14 Zerglings. Not a bad count. He didn't lose any direct units, using the ramp very nicely to defend. And the 3rd hatchery is on the way. Reapers pull home at the perfect time. I'm just going to keep those alive. And interestingly, 2 Cyclones are on the way. Oh, the Reapers. Dude, don't lose these. Don't lose these. He's on the outside of the wall. Uh-oh. CLEM. Oh, he's going to lose him. Oh, what the hell? He actually manages to juke past him here. Remember, they're both playing cross server here from Europe and Korea on the NA server. But on this map, there's only a tiny little ledge to the high ground, so he's going to lose all 3 Reapers. The Cyclones should not be out here. This is a crazy move going out here with these Cyclones. CLEM getting his Cyclones surrounded. Oh no, tries to save the Reapers, but he ends up throwing his Cyclones away. That is not the play. He's going to lose the next Cyclone as well. And that's a disaster of an opening for CLEM, who I guess he wanted to lift the barracks and kill the Overlord with those Cyclones, but it ends up being a massive overcommitment. Well, not a massive overcommitment, but yeah, I mean, the Reapers should have gone back behind the wall, pop the Cyclones on the inside. If he grouped the Cyclones and the Reapers together, I think he could take out those Zerglings, but having it separated like that and isolated one at a time is always a bummer. Lair starts up for Dark, and a super fast 4th base. I think he just senses he's taken the wind out of Clem's sails, and that he can kind of do everything at once. Mass drones, double Evo chambers, Lair's on the way. Clem here with just 2 little flamethrower cars, desperately trying to slow his opponent down. I think it was a smart move, and chat's pointing this out, and I agree. It was a smart move to cancel the Reaper. There was no 3rd base to deny. If Dark had kind of hidden a drone and started the 3rd while the Reapers were harassing, he probably would have gone for the 5 Reapers, but obviously just cancels it, changes his mind after seeing that Dark wasn't adamant about the fast 3rd. But going for 2 Cyclones, I think he wanted to basically say, look, I've got 3 Reapers, 2 Cyclones, and a bunch of Hellions, and then swap into this sort of double drop. But that would have meant he had Cyclone, Hellion, Reaper on the front, pressuring, forcing Zerglings and Roaches out, being a big nuisance. Instead, Clem finds himself not in such a great position. He's down a lot of workers, 14 workers. His upgrades are about 20 seconds behind, 15 seconds behind. And he's only now building a third barracks. Does not have a fourth or fifth barracks. But Marines come in, takes out an Overlord, and gets a Roach for a Marine. One Marine for a Roach and an Overlord is definitely a good trade. He also, if Dark is distracted enough by the drop, those Hellions could surprise him. Just hide those somewhere on the map, bring them in when Dark's out on the map. When Dark starts to counter push you, you drive those Hellions in, or you pull the whole army to one side, Hellions dive in the other side. They can definitely do very well. Fourth and fifth barracks are on the way. Factory is building siege tanks right now for Clem. Dark looks like he isn't going to overcomplicate this game. He's going to keep it simple, stupid, and just mass 1-1 Roach Ravager. It's an old strategy, but it's a classic good one. Oh, the Queen gets the medevac snipe, which means these Marines have to stay here longer than they had intended. He can only save 8 of them, so he's going to fight until there's only 8 Marines left, and then he'll pick up and get out of there. Only saved some of the Marines. Okay, there we go. Kind of instinctively picked up and then changed his mind, realized there's only one tank out. I don't know if he can defend this third. I think the bunker's a very good idea. But it's kind of far back. I feel like, I guess he's going to spread his tanks here in this area and then try to defend with Marines here and here. But he's got to siege these tanks as soon as possible. Okay, those tanks. Oh, yeah. You've got to spread them out, or they could have died to the single corrosive bile in the middle. Let's bring a drop back right now. A few Roaches on the right. Clem is in trouble right now. There's 4 Ravagers there on the left. Nothing's in the bunker right now. Uh-oh. One tank goes down. Bunker not getting repaired. The SCVs are pulled a little bit late to the party. Not enough biles to take out the siege tank, though. The right flank crumbles for Dark, but Clem's not protecting his siege tanks. This is a big problem a lot of the Terran players have when they don't defend their siege tanks against Roach Ravager. They just try to chase down the Roach Ravager flanks with their firepower advantage on the Marines. Problem is, if you lose the siege tanks, you don't have any range advantage, and that's when the Roach Ravager can pick you apart. Now, losing 18 SCVs is not that bad. It's losing your army that gets you killed here, because Zerg is so quick to reproduce. Speaking of which, Dark goes 2-2, starts droning. Where's that infestation pit? He's just taken 2 gases on the 4th. Dark, are you gonna just keep massing Roach Ravager? Dude, getting like 2 Infestors out would win you this game. Not to mention, go Hive for Vipers or Broodlord transition. Broodlord Infestor would be great as well. But it looks like Dark is just gonna go 73 drone Roach Ravager round 2. Very dangerous move for him. Alright, Marine's happy to trade with the Roaches. Definitely don't think he should be too happy to do that. No 4th command center on the way, remember. 2-2 upgrades are started for Terran. But Mass Roach Ravager doesn't scale well. When you're maxed out, it can get very awkward. Now, Dark is definitely doing something that only Dark would have the confidence to do. Most players say, went ahead, get more ahead. Dark says, went ahead, build more Roaches. It's the opposite of getting ahead unless you use those to kill your opponent, and I guarantee you that's what he's got in mind. He's massing Roach Ravager like no tomorrow. These tanks need to stay in a defensive position. The problem is, Clem is known for getting a stiffy, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to send 3 drops out just when Dark's about to attack him, I believe. Oh, that's such a bummer. You can't be... Without those 24 Marines at home, he will just die, I believe. That being said, Dark is waiting a long time. Dark is maxed. What are we doing, Dark? He's just waiting for 2-2? I think he's waiting for Clem to attack into him, but this is a... He's got no tech. He's got no tech, no 5th base, no progression. Dark is just waiting for Clem to make a huge mistake. Clem, I don't know, man. I'm a big fan of both of these players. I'm hoping Clem doesn't prove him right and say, yeah, that's the record. But the infestation pit only now starts. This is like a weird thing that only Dark and Reyna do, where sometimes they've got such good game sense. They're like, oh no, I know he's going to attack into me. The thing is, you're not always right. And in this case, you're not right. Clem comes in, takes a good trade. Other than that, he's just chilling at home. Now that siege tank is in a bad spot. That's dead. Oh, no, defend your tanks. Clem! Clem! Oh, losing 2 siege tanks for free. Oh, actually, messed up the biles there, did Dark. And the Marines gunned down a lot of these Ravagers. Wow, very nicely done there by Clem. Got the triple drop still up there in the north. You'll pick up, try to redrop the main, but the Queens and Roaches are there. You got to be careful, Clem. Now, Dark's still pushing right now. I don't know what Dark's goal is. He's making melee and Zerglings. He started a hive. But it's like, where are your infestors? What are you doing, Dark? It's... Yeah, this is a really, really inefficient play for Dark. He was very far ahead in this game. And instead he's kind of just slowly transitioning into Ling Bane. Clem will push into him. But the Bile's not a single one landing. You cannot fight that tank fire. There's a 4th up now for Terran as well. No 3-3 starting for Clem. Clem, it feels like, is rather all in right now. He is on 8 barracks, guys. And he's starting to add Marauders in 4 at a time. 1 siege tank goes down. But these are pretty nice pushes here by Clem. It's a little overstimmed right now. Dark with the mass Bile. Starting to get some damage done. Getting some big Biles off Clem. Really microing a little bit frantically right now. Oh, he's losing quite a few siege tanks. 7 tanks have gone down this game. But if he gets through the Ravages, Clem's trying to kill him right now. And this might just be a good enough forward position that he can just do it. The Roach Ravager trying to hang on. Dark's trying to use those Biles. Roach Ravager does not scale well. It's a very powerful mid-game composition, but like everything in StarCraft, what is really strong in one way is usually very weak in another way. And the longer the game goes, the more the Roach Ravager does not feel like it represents power equal to its supply cost. And he's down in supply right now. Equal upgrades, and that's a disaster for the Zerg. He never got any Infestors out. 1 or 2 Fungals could have caught this bio and completely stopped this advance. But without the Fungal addition, no Hive Tech in sight. He's just started a Hydra Den. Like, he didn't even have a plan for what this Hive was for. And I know it's scathing criticism, but one has to wonder, what are you doing maxing out on Roach Ravager and just sitting there? This is not something you see very often in 2023. A player just kind of chilling on max and going, oh, you're not going to attack me? Uh-oh. My whole plan relied on you doing an attack into me, and if you don't do that, well, I'm just going to have the slowest late game transition of all time. Clem's all over him right now. The tank position is unstoppable. There's a Widowmine watching the flank as well. He doesn't have the high ground vision. A couple Biles will go down, but he still loses 2 Ravages for that, and the bio is just going to shove in. Even though he's massively overstimmed, these fights are disgustingly efficient right now. Dark has to tap out after a really promising start. GG, well played to Clem. All right, guys, going into the game 2. Clem opening up with the 2-Rex Reaper aggression again. Same opening into a quick factory, which he's misplaced. He's going to have to lift that barracks if he wants to build an add-on. And he does actually go up against a fast 3rd this time, but he doesn't scout it. So I don't think he realizes that Dark is actually sneaking that 3rd base in much earlier. Now, Dark got ahead off the opening last time, so I'm not really sure why Clem's doing it again, because it really did not feel like it did well for him. Still getting in there, looking for damage. Doesn't find anything. Not a single unit can he kill. He does go factory into 3rd command center. He still hasn't lifted this barracks off to build the tech lab. I know that Dark kind of messed up in that last game pretty badly and let it slip away, but that's not the first time I've seen Dark do that, so I'm not all that surprised. Now, interestingly, looks like the factory's going to go on the reactor for some early Cyclone. So he wants to do Cyclone Reaper pressure. Very cute. New reactor building there behind. 3rd base at the front. It is a bit of an awkward 3rd base, I gotta say. Like, this path, especially, you can put tanks up here on this ledge, drop Marines. It'd just be really annoying. Very, very annoying base to hang on to. That being said, as a Zerg, you don't necessarily need to commit yourself to every bit of territory that you control. Like, you can always just back off and give up bases, as we saw in Dark's earlier series, up against Future, for instance, who was playing a real aggressive style. Now, Overlords on the Pillar going to see these Cyclones coming across this map. 2 Reapers, 2 Cyclones. Pretty good versus Zerglings. I feel like the Reapers really complement them nicely with their grenades. And Lair and Baneling Nest go down immediately for Dark. Interesting. Alright, Cyclone Reapers starting to chip away at the Queen. They don't want to get overextended though. They're going to wait for those Hellions to arrive before they commit any deeper. And it is 35 SCVs for Terran, 44 for Zerg. It's a pretty similar matchup. Remember, you've got 3 command centers. And there's going to be triple mule dropping in the near future, right? There's the 3rd orbital's now up. You've been dropping mules for a little bit. So even though your worker count's a little bit lower, you've also got a higher tech force as the Terran. And much quicker upgrades coming up behind this. 3rd barracks does start before Starport, interestingly. Oh, wow. Okay, Starport's now going to build on the reactor at the front. Nice. Dark making a bit of a mistake, leaving 1 Overlord out. And surprisingly, Clem does not kill it. Okay, does... Oh, no, Transfuse saves it. Good choice to just give it up now. So Clem's just chipping around the edges. Queens can go down to Cyclones, but it's very hard to actually confirm the kill is the Terran, because if you go too deep, you'll always get surrounded by Zerglings. I think overall, Dark's done a better job of playing a greedy, confident game. I don't mind this opening, man. The Cyclone, pretty nice unit just to add a little bit of something to your pressure and then follow up with a pretty normal build. Armory on the way, 4th and 5th barracks as well. I don't think the Evo chambers have started just yet for Dark. But Dark, on the other hand, he's got a macro hatch and a 4th base on the way. And I always talk about how if you let Dark have a bit too much room with Ling Bane, because he's so greedy, he gets out of control. He, in the last year, has died over and over again to Maru, Bian, and Bunny's dedicated tank timings. Marine tank attacks just kill him because he's so sloppy in terms of like how tight his build is. So if you hit like a really dedicated timing, you cut some workers, you just bam, get in there. Don't build a 4th command center, just go off 5 barracks. You can smash. But Clem is not doing that. Clem's playing to a much later stage. He's going 2-2. Whilst an infestation pit goes down for Dark. Oh, very cool. So I actually think Dark gets the advantage off this because, like I said, you give him room to breathe, he'll be very greedy. He's going Burrow, Infestation. He's massively supply blocked on 120. He starts a few Overlords. Needs to start a lot of Overlords. Alien Cyclone hanging around. Aliens are on the way. We've got a few more barracks building. Apparently, Raynor has been telling Clem for a while to stop attacking into roaches, so he doesn't anymore. I've been shouting this at Maru games that I've been casting of him versus Rogue for 7 years now. And Maru still likes to attack into roaches, and to be fair, if it's not Rogue, he usually wins. It's technically not the play, but sometimes you're so much better than your opponents, anything becomes the play. This is 8 racks, 2-2 all in, guys. Very dedicated 3-base push, and it should time out to hit just around the time Hive Tech's finishing, but I don't think he'll have time to get out like much Viper Tech, to get out, you know, adrenal glands or anything. And you know what? Hellions being mixed in is really cute. You can heal those up with Metavax as well when they're in Hellbat form. So he's going to do a mass Marauder Hellbat push. A very funky push, guys. This is old school. Combat Shields is almost finished. Good choice to just pick up there and don't throw any units away. I've about 5 seconds from finishing right now. 2-2, about 30 seconds away. Clem, get up, get out, get out. Does save those Marines just barely in time. He's going to start cleaning up this Overlord as well. The Ling Bane is far forward on the front. He's going to try and slow this advance. Dark's had fantastic creep spread. Dark's worker count is also not that high. And I really feel like, okay, yeah, he's set up for the counterattack for sure. And Clem, this is going to force Clem to slow down, which means, guess what? Adrenal Gland starts. It's on the way. Vipers should be coming in the near future. Dark doesn't have the spare gas for it right now, but he will be getting that in a moment. And where do we push this Clem? He's going to push through the middle. He's got nothing watching that right side. I gotta question this move for Clem. Okay, he's going to have to pull his whole army back. He doesn't really guard. Okay. Gonna chase those units away. I like the way Dark is using his mobility. He's already bought himself a lot of time. It's 2-2 versus 1-1 for another 50 seconds. But if Dark can buy himself 50 seconds, he can smash. And he's got Burrowed Banelings there as well. Look at that. And he's like, come and chase me, come and chase me, come and chase me. Clem is not chasing him though. Clem is really trying to be patient on this. That siege tank on the high ground is going to try and defend. On the front, he starts to shove in. Front row of Marauders and Hellions does get cleaned up. 4th command center building behind this. There is a siege tank back here, but man, that 3rd base is in jeopardy. Clem's in trouble right now. He's going to lose a whole 3rd mineral line. Siege tank goes down. He knew this counterattack was coming, but he is dead set focused on trying to win with the aggression. 4th command center gets cancelled. His Marines get rolled into. This is not the play from Clem. He needed to just leave some more units dealing with that Ling Bane army. Just leave a medevac on it or something like that, but it kind of felt like Clem got nervous because he knew that he was all in and needed to get attacking sooner rather than later. And he kind of ummed and ahed. It's like, dude, stop F2ing. Just leave a medevac watching it. Bring across what you, like, leave a pack of bio or some Hellions or something like that. He could have morphed all of his Hellbats into Hellions and just chased that whole army down, honestly, with Hellions. Like, you can't really fight off creep with Ling Bane versus Hellions if Clem's microing them. And then run the Hellions across, morph them into Hellbats to guard your Marauders and your siege tanks on the front. But now he's lost his only one siege tank. He's lost most of his army. Dark's at Hive Tech. Now, Dark does only have 2-2. Ling Bane making Vipers. Still not the ideal army. He needs mass Banelings to clear these Hellbats. And for Clem, it's all about setting up a giant spready. Flash used to play this style a lot in 2013. And the way he did it is he would spread across like 2 screens with his Bio Hellbat. If you're clumped up at all, it will not go well. This is not a super agile force that you can spread reactively with. The Marines you kind of can, but the Hellbats and Marauders need to be pre-split. Okay, Clem's third's in trouble. Oh, this could be good for Clem. He's got a pretty big army down there. Those Hellbat Splashies doing pretty well. Great Widowmine hit does go down on the right, but Clem getting overwhelmed on the left, and Dark just runs home. Great way to get back in the series for Dark. You give Dark too much room, like if his macro hatch, his 5th base, that sort of stuff starts to pay off, he gets freedom to spread creep. Dark looks next level in this matchup. There's that period in the mid game, like I said, where because his build's not tight and he plays a bit greedy, you can get him with a timing attack. But if you let him pass that stage, Dark becomes one of the best Zerg vs. Terran Lingbane players in the world. And it's because it's the same it's always been, you know? Backstabbing with Zerglings, using their mobility, fighting from all sides. It's not like it's a new style that Dark's had to learn. He can delve into those years of experience. It's usually the lacking build order refinement in the modern meta that hurts him these days. But didn't affect him at all this time. Clem had an upgrade advantage, and Dark so easily diffused that upgrade advantage. He just said, oh, you can't push me because I'm counterattacking. You can't push me because I'm counterattacking. And Clem could not find his way across that map. It's rare to see a player of Clem's caliber unable to get his push across the map. Wow, Widowmine kills a medevac. Parasitic Bomb kills a few more. Clem, he pulls back to do a hot pickup. Those medevacs all die in a Parasitic Bomb. Youch. Widowmine scattered across the map. Some bio coming in from the north. Queen's going to take out one of those medevacs. Careful. It's mostly Marauders. So these are tanky units, but they're not very good at fighting Zerglings. And he loses a medevac with units in it as well. Clem is on the back foot right now. To be fair, Dark's economy is not that great. It's only 68 workers, but you're only on 48 on 3 base. And the Marines just keep getting run over. Dark with way too many units, way too much momentum, ties up the series. All right, Clem in the top right side of the map. So far, all 3 openings have not gone amazing for Clem. I think it was, to be fair, I think it was all right last game. But he's going to try it again. Dark in the bottom left here on Alcyon. This map does have a rich gas base both here and here. Just a single geyser. There's also a 6 mineral gold base here and here. Now these guys are on this right side of the map, which is separated by minerals there. 400 hit point rocks there. Minerals there. 400 hit point rocks there and minerals there. So this whole bottom right side of the base of the map, sorry, with 6 different bases behind it. You can open that up just by mining a single little 5 mineral patch out. Funnily enough, earlier today, Dark had this 3rd hatch, and he didn't mine the minerals out, and there was a really nasty tank marine push here, which is very hard to deal with, and I'm sure he wished he'd just sent a drone over and mined that open earlier. See how it goes. Now, Clem here trying to leave space for his add-ons. What a very vulnerable wall-off this is. Oh my, and then another depot over there, I guess. Definitely a bit of a vulnerable wall-off, but it is what it is. Now, Dark has not really spent too much time looking for proxies, and that's because Clem doesn't proxy barracks very often. Would you be able to play on a different server if both players agree? 100%. The finalist waiting right now is MaxPax. MaxPax already defeated Beyond and Trigger and a few other players. So MaxPax is waiting in the finals. If Clem wins, it'll be EU versus EU. Likewise, if it's Koreans versus Koreans, always swap over there. Even though it's the American Cup, we always swap region to whatever's most fitting. Obviously, if there's an American player, the default is Central US server in general. So you can always force the games to be on Central US. The players have to agree to go on a different server. Technically, you could handicap your opponent and handicap yourself at the same time if either player just says, nope, I want to play on NA. And they're like, what? We're in Europe. And they're like, don't care. I think I'll handle the lag better than you. Technically, you could do that. I've never seen anyone do it.
Thanks for the Bezos box.
Oh, nice drone snipe there. That's not good for Dark. Already losing a drone. Much better start for Clem than he's had so far in this series. And he's already made 3 Reapers. He goes down there. He sees the hatchery. He's not going to try to kill it. Thank you, Hello Dale and Maximus for the subbies. Thanks, mates. Oh, he's bouncing the Queen. Getting a fair bit of damage, but you don't want to lose your Reaper. Very easy to bounce her forward and then lose that Reaper. Very good damage, but not able to kill her. Factory's on the way, as well as 3rd command center. Exact same follow-up, guys. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Clem is clearly just going to go for the reacted Cyclones again. It's super predictable. I don't really generally like players being this predictable, but as I say that, hold that thought. He's going second factory. Very nice. Very nice. Guys, what is in that tube? Have they just got some floating bits of metal in there? Is that a gun? I think it's a gun. There's like a shotgun and like some add-ons for it and stuff. There's like, or maybe it's like a rifle. Maybe it's a ghost rifle. Anyway, cyclones are on the way. We've got a factory up in the main. So this looks like it could be a full-on mech build. There is, of course, an overlord there. We definitely want to see the barracks lift off and clear that out. Should be the first thing you do here. Dark is making a lot of Zerglings. He's going to over 20 Zerglings right now. And I mean, it makes sense. Clem keeps making 2 cyclones and running across the map with them.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. My alert sounds are a bit obnoxious. My bad. Thank you for the $3. Only Sleek. Dude, thank you so much for the love. All right, he's going to lift that off. But, dude, the Lings are coming. He expected this. Dark expected this. He's trying to sneak in with Mass Zergling. They're just out of vision right now. Oh, he wants the Cyclones to come out. He's like, please let me surround you. Supply block behind it is Dark. He's building 4 Overlords. The Cyclones and the Reapers moving out. He's going to be getting supply blocked here. He's trying to micro. He needs to go to the right. Good movement here. Good movement. Reaper Grenade would be fantastic. And I think this is really good micro by Clem. It's still a great surprise ambush for Dark. But I think he basically makes the best of it. Only loses a Cyclone, a Reaper, and a Hellion. 20 Zerglings going down. It's a good trade there for Clem. He averts disaster. Dark committed a ton to try and get that momentum. And now we've got Hurricane Thrusters on the way, so it looks like a Cyclone mech opening. He's making Stim and a few Marines, but is he going to let that finish, or is this just, is he going to swap into Bio and just open up with heavy Cyclone for a pressure, or is this just a fake out of the Marines? I do not know. Oh man, here we go. Hellion Reaper coming forwards. Dark is going double Evo? Wait. He's going double Evo upgrades. That can help a little bit versus Cyclones, but lots of Cyclone Alien is going to cause you trouble. Seeing those rocks getting taken down. I'm thinking about taking out these Queens. Once the second Cyclone's here, it looks like he's happy to get some of those lock-ons. Oh, he's going to take a Queen out. Very nicely done. Good micro there by Dark, though, to focus down the weaker Cyclone. And these Queens taking a lot of damage, man. He's already killed 2 of them. The Hellions are up front, though. You want the Hellions behind. Dark with a beautiful surround. The Queens bait him in there. Clem goes just a little bit too deep. Gets a bit too horny. Needs to get out of there, man. Thrusters is finished. That does give like a whole movement speed to the Cyclones, which is pretty nice. The Lings are still way faster. And they're going for a surround. Dark with the crazy Dark move. Kills some units, but uses a lot of Zerglings to do it. Workers is dead even. This should actually be quite good for Clem. And he's already got 2 factories, which he can just use to build Widow Mines or Hellbats if he wants to stick to that style. It's a crazy attack from Dark. Trying to shove into the ramp, and I think Clem over-microed it a little bit. He needs to bring those Hellions back. I think Clem needed to not stim, maybe? I don't know, it's hard to say. Does end up getting a good trade, does Dark. Gets a few SCVs as well. But, units lost tab still looking in favor of Clem. There's 2 layers making right now. That's going to be a misclick. Accidentally making a layer on 2 different bases. Unless he cancels one right now. That's a bit of a mistake there. Dark's adrenaline pumping. He does cancel at the very last second and starts Burrow. +1 melee is on the way, +2 carapace starting up. So a big upgrade advantage for Dark, but his worker count's pretty low at 56. That being said, he has a 4th hatchery on the way. Making drones and a Hydroden. 2 Banelings are morphing hidden over there. Clem, no excuse for not catching that, mate. Alien cannot kill that in time. He will need to pull SCVs away. Oh god, don't underestimate this. Good pullback. 10 Aliens out on the map right now. They could cause a lot of trouble for the creep and push back some of the Ling Bane. Blue Flame never got made this game though. And we do expect, there we go. Armory is finished. So, see if he can commit with these Hellions. You don't want to get surrounded again. Clem! Oh man, Clem is so crazy. Like, Ling Bane could have been there running down that ramp to surround him. Clem's already been surrounded a few times in this game. I mean, you don't want to be playing scared, but at the same time, you don't want to offer any more of your units up on a platter. 4th Command Center's on the way. And it looks like a pretty even macro game. Upgrades ahead for Zerg. He's got good tech as well. He's now up to a decent economy. His creep control isn't all that. He's got, you know, 1 tumor over there, no tumors there. There's only 4 queens out as well, and he's not building any new queens, which is definitely an issue. Notice Dark has all of his queens on 1 control group, but he's just using them to spread creep rather than inject right now. So he could run into a lava shortage. Don't be surprised if his mineral count starts to get a bit out of control, unless he fixes up this and starts actually injecting with those queens. Dark is famous for not really injecting nearly as much as the other Zerg players. See if it comes back to bite him as that mineral count's getting out of control. He's also hitting a supply block. Clem keeping up this pressure is doing a lot of indirect damage, because just by distracting Dark, he's still not realized that he's essentially supply blocked right now. Finally starts up a few overlords and an infestation pit. Clem's doing a great job of applying pressure. I don't think this is a position where he can really push in right now. He's going Widow Mines, tanks, 3 more barracks behind it. I've always loved a mixed force. A few Hellbats spread in, a few Widow Mines, a few siege tanks. It's very hard to choose how to set that army up though. Clem's got to be careful not to clump these Hellbats. You want them spread out as much as possible. Tanks are really important against the Hydras. If you don't have siege tanks, then it's really hard to deal with their range. Hydras already do have their 6 range. Their movement speed upgrade's almost there. Ling Bane coming around for a beautiful flank on the right side. They're going to intercept the reinforcements and potentially counterattack. Yeah, they're going to commit to the counter. The Marines there out front the depot, they're going to go down. As long as the SCVs run away from this base, it's not too bad for Clem. Looks like his Widow Mine's got some good shots off on the front. He's trying to micro 2 places at once. His SCVs do stack up and survive. He only loses 3 workers at home. Widow Mines should get some decent hits. Good spready for Dark to minimize the damage. Lings try to come in from behind, but the Marine Hellbat holds strong. Clem's in a very good position right now. He feels like he's got an advantage. He pushes through the Banelings. There are Lings behind, though. And with the Hydra Ling count being just a little bit too high, he has to pull back and then immediately unload. There are Zerglings in the mineral line. Those 4 Lings could unburrow, cause him some issues. Planetary is going up on the 4th base. Dark trying to ambush him once again on the front. You got to be careful here as Dark. You know, it's cool to catch Clem off guard, but right now, this is the deciding game 3. Overseer goes down there. And it feels like Clem is going to be able to push back Dark off of his 3rd base. Or 4th base, actually. His 3rd's up here. His 5th now going to become a replacement 4th base in the north. Hives on the way as well as more Banelings. Great play by Clem so far. It is 2-2 versus 2-2. The upgrade advantage from earlier no longer exists. Ling Bane rolling in. The Marines mostly evading that. There's a lot of Hydras out. But I always feel like Hydras, if there's even just 1 or 2 siege tanks in the mix, their range advantage is not that effective. Zerglings on burrow over on this base. Nice move there by Dark. Gets a bit of a distraction. Grabs only 1 actual SCV kill. But anything to try and pull the pressure away. The problem is it's Clem, and even when you force him to multitask, he keeps attacking in the midst of it. I like that he's cleaning this creep up. I feel like letting that creep go would have been a big mistake. He actually gets rid of the active tumor on the edge as well, which is really nice for him. If the active tumor survives, it can just keep spreading. You really want to take the front off of that creep spread to really diminish it. Does feel like this is only part of Clem's army, but there we go. The rest of it's starting to arrive. He does need to keep building siege tanks. I think most of them are stuck at home right now, and maybe even stuck inside his main base. Oh, Biomine doing what it can. Siege tank getting some good shots off. 14 kills. Hydra Bane trying to hang out. The Marines continuing to push in, and the creep is receding. Keep in mind, every moment he's fighting here, the creep is getting further and further back. Their map control is being removed. Now, it looks like, no, the siege tanks are coming out one at a time, but off just 1 factory. Clem still has to take clean fights. He's in the position to do it. Let's see if he pulls it off. Vipers never came out. There's no blinding clouds, no fungals for the Marines. It's just Ling Bane, and they are clumping up on that ramp quite a bit. The Widow Mine's not getting any shots off, funnily enough. But that siege tank is now on 33 kills. Sergeant Chadhammer herself anchoring the front lines. The Bio trying to bait the Ling Bane in, and oh, Clem does get caught out. Chadhammer gets focused down. Felt like Clem wasn't watching for a moment there. Maybe went home to macro. He was building a Ghost Academy, so it looks like that's what he looked at home to do there. +3 carapace, +2 range is on the way. 3-3 almost finished right now for Clem. He's going to come forward with the Bio. Banelings on the right side pulling back. The Hydra's trying to do a bit of a spready. Okay, Changeling's taken out. Widow Mine drop on the left. Ooh, watch out. Alright. 1 Widow Mine gets a shot off. The other 2 shut down. Good defense by Dark. Dark's 5th base is rebuilding. He's got 2 Vipers out as well. Parasitic bombs on these medevacs would be a disaster for Clem. That army is very, very fragile. And the Vipers, I think they're nearby, right? Where are they? They're on the natural, gathering energy off the hive. Finally sees the drop going in the main. Dark reacts quickly. Clem's just going to look to pick off some units and then get up and out of there. But Ducks into Hydras are another story. Clem actually sieges up. Parasitic bombs all over the medevacs. Oh my lord. That's a very crazy fight right now. Clem loses all of his medevacs and his whole army in the main of Dark. But it costs him a lot. Dark's already pulled away. He doesn't realize, wait, I didn't actually leave enough units to kill that army. That makes that trade a little bit sloppier than it should have been. Bio coming back. Picks off another drone or 2. 7 drones in total do go down. The units lost tab still 3,000 in favor of Clem. That definitely was not as good for him as the previous few fights. Dark's back up on 5 base with a 6th on the bottom, and this gives him the room to regrow. He's respreading creep on the right. He needs to respread it in the middle here as well. I guess if he just spreads one of these tumors to the north, that'll work. He can spread these tumors in every direction. And it feels like Dark's getting past a very scary point because his carapace is finished. His melee's on the way. He's got lurkers coming in. Ghosts are okay versus lurkers, but they're not a hard counter. And there's only 2 factories. I mentioned this earlier. I really feel like, I think Q is the guy who builds 4 factories sometimes. Spirit and a few other players do that as well. I love 4 factory because you have so much more flexibility. 3 tech labs, 1 reactor to build tanks, widow mines, hellbats, whatever you desire. Ten lurkers on the way, as well as adaptive talons right now. Marine Marauder Ghost moving out that left side. Clem's going to have to split his army up a little bit. I like this setup, using command centers to try and buffer. Continuing to do some harassment here with the Widow Mines. Second Armory is coming in as well, so it looks like Clem's going to start to focus on that aspect as well. Yeah, very late game upgrades. +2 vehicle platings on the way. So he's already at 1-1. He's going to go for like 3-3 Thor upgrades, I believe, just so he can counter Broodlords. Hatchery gets killed there by Clem. Very nice kill. You got to be a little wary with the drops because Vipers can ruin your day. Abducting those into the Hydras and they get shot down very quick. I do think Dark needs to go Broodlords because there's not really an aggressive timing for him. On the other hand, it's Dark, so he's probably just going to run in with 12 Lurkers and win the game. No tech in the main base, all in the natural for Dark, which I would argue is the safest location. 4 command centers building right now for Clem. He tries to save some units. He does get a few of them out of there. Double Abduct goes down and one of the medevacs falls. But losing 1 medevac's worth of bio units, not too bad. Nice sec auto tracking to help with that low sec drive that some of his turrets and planetaries have. You see right now, only 6 range. And that'll kick in a moment. He's also only got 3 armor. That's going to become 5 armor. Nice sex drive. Ibex cannon there. 7 range now. You know, some people out there, they need a break. This bad boy can just pump away with those twin Ibex cannons, man. Look at that. Look at those guns. Fusion cores on the way. Looks like Ranger Libs will be the next step. Interesting that he's going vehicle weapons, though, rather than ship weapons. I think it's just because, like I said, Broodlords is such a common swap, and having 3-3 Thor tech ready so you can react with Thors to those Broodlords is very important. How's the Iron Bank going? He's up to 5 orbital command centers. He's making a 6th one right now, and building 3 more command centers, so the Iron Bank's on the way. Those 12 lurkers I was talking about, they're going to siege on this base. The Banelings are going to blow up all the repairing SCVs. I told you, man, there's not really a timing, but knowing Dark, he's just going to run in with 12 lurkers and win the game. Well, that might not have won the game, but that did significant damage. That was an excellent trade. Now he's on the right side, picking off Liberators and Widow Mines, forcing Clem's attention to both sides. Snipes one of the lurkers, but only one. The rest of the units escape there. The ghosts are unable to connect those snipes. Command centers floating out to these bases, trying to land on them and burrow and kind of get in position. 3 more command centers are building right now. Lingbane Hydra trying to do what they can. 5 more drones are building at this moment. Creep Tumor is spreading all over the map. 5 more drones are on the way. +2 vehicle weapons coming in as well. +3 vehicle plating. Lingbane Hydra is going to try to swarm in. I feel like Clem has lost the advantage. But you got to remember, he does have the Iron Bank, kind of. He's on 6 orbitals. Needs a few more, man. 7th orbital's on the way. I'd like to see that one turn into number 8. Really feel that's very important. Does replace this base on the left. I wonder if it's worth putting a planetary in front of it. I mean, this wasn't a planetary before, so already having a few libs, a bit of bio ghost there is nice. I'm going to try and expand to that far right side. Now that's interesting. Alright, that's a lot of Ling Bane. He's only got one Widowmine. I think the Lings are trying to set that off. Notice how he's got front-running Zerglings there? He actually clicked on the Widowmine to kill it. Nice move by Dark. It's very hard to deal with the mobility of Zerg. 3/3 vehicle weapons and armor on the way. Zerg does have +3 range. It's a Lingbane Hydra army. Only 5 Hydras, 10 Lurkers actually, so more of a Lingbane Lurker army. Widowmine takes out a smear of Zerglings on the ground. And Lurker harassed behind the gold base. Not a bad move. Who's going to try and snipe some of these units? Viper's coming with the parasitic bombs. Thought we'd see some more abducts there, personally. A couple of snipes do go down. The SCVs, for some reason, not being evacuated. Parasitic bomb did a fair bit of damage. And Clem just tanking it to the face. But there we go. Those Lurkers go down. Now, I think that was a purposeful throwaway for Dark. He loses all of his Lurkers, and you might think, well, why? The reason there is he wants to replace them with better units. He's decided Hydras and more Vipers. He's remaking a Lurker for some reason. I don't know. I think Nidus is in the back door. If he could sneak some Overseers past to be good, but there's sensor towers everywhere. No real way to surprise Clem. Just about can Clem spread his units well enough to deal with it, because he's on mostly Ghosts right now. And they're okay, but they're not necessarily the best unit. Oh, great hot pickup on that right side. Liberator really annoying the Zerg. Pushing him back. What a nail-biting game 3 this is turning out to be. I'm excited, man. My name's Big Kevin. I'm excited. That's for the Aussies out there. No one else will get that one. Even then, it's the older Aussies as well. It's not the younger Aussies. Got to be at least probably 30 minimum to remember old Kev. Tanks do get taken out by the Zerglings and the Hydras. Command Center goes down there. Good movements here for Dark. He's forcing a lot of movement out of Clem. A lot of frantic kind of responding. The Lingbane was getting hammered there by some shots on the ramp. Not really going to find crazy game-ending damage or anything like that. Still being a massive nuisance. Units lost tab is 9,000 resources in favor, but look at that. Dark's mining out his base. Oh, that's a very clever move, mining that one out. That being said, Clem might be able to take this base, which is one of his bases, so if Clem can mine half of the map, keep trading like this, he should win the game. Even though he spent so much more money on infrastructure, and that's why Dark's bank is bigger, he's got 6 orbitals right now. He can just keep dropping mules anywhere he wants, scanning as much as he needs, and oh my. Yep, get to the... Oh god, Clem's in trouble. This is a crazy Ling Lurker shove. Pulling back, he's got to get away from the Lurkers and fight the Lings first, and then deal with the Lurkers afterwards. The bio comes up, my lord, the Banelings crashing into the bio from the south. More Banelings came in from the bottom. Clem's got to be careful, he's lost a factory. Uh-oh, he's in trouble right now. He needs some siege tanks here. This is actually so funny because I said Broodlord Infestor is probably going to be needed because there's no Lurker timing. But there's no siege tank production. Clem is so ready for there to be a Broodlord transition with the heavy ghost count, with the great upgrades. He's got Liberators, he's got these good armies, but he doesn't really have a nice, clean, easy counter to the Lurkers with either the siege tank or a good Liberator count that's mobile. And he's losing command centers. Dark is picking him apart. Dark is showing an expert understanding of how to attack in many places, how to utilize mobility, and it's causing so many problems for Clem. He just can't handle all these Lurkers. He never got the mass orbital up either. And look at how much damage he's taking right now. Ling in the back of the natural. There's a Lurker over there causing him some issues. That command center is starting to get taken down. He's going to try and attack. Remember, when behind, go back. When you're behind, when you're up against the wall, you always go back to what you know best. And Clem is at his heart an attacking player. He likes to attack. He likes to force where the fighting is. He's sick of defending in this game. He finally does scan at home, but he's trying to rally to the front. He's making the medevac energy upgrade right now. And he's saying, I will just keep pushing you. This is it. I need to get the fights happening where I expect the fights to happen. But look at that Hydra Ling Bane army. So many Hydras coming in. A couple snipes go down, but the Overseers are so fast, they actually break most of the snipes, and it's a really good pullback for Dark. What I really like as we see more and more of the later patches is how that ghost snipe not reaching as far has had a really big flow-on impact. Flow-on effect. I said impact, like impact and effect at the same time. It really feels like the Zergs are able to run in and out a little bit more, and it's all about trying to catch the Terran out of position. Now, I don't know who it favors, but I do think it creates more active play, whereas it used to be the Zergs were afraid to engage because those snipes would always catch you on the retreat. Ling Hydra coming up forwards. Bio pulling back to the lib zones. Mass Ling coming up in the natural. Hydra's attacking the command center there. It's going to take some damage. Liberator sieging on the production as well. Hydra Ling Bane coming on forwards. And the Ghost just there tapping these units as they come in. But Dark is breaching the production. I mean, to be fair, Clem has a giant army. I don't know if it's going to be enough. He's still got that tank and that lib with it. We're denying the base on the left. The Planetary's holding on. Clem's pushing in the bottom. He's up 30 army supply. If he could somehow get on the production of Dark, I do see this as being a potential win condition. SCVs are trying to repair. The Planetary is blasting these units. Dude, the Planetary survives. Believe it or not, as long as he scans, he can kill that Lurker. But man, so many SCVs going down. The economy not feeling too good right now. Does need another scan here, but he's low on orbitals. They keep getting sniped. Does look like that Planetary will go down if he doesn't deal with it soon. Nice scan goes down. 2 Lurkers do fall. Third one does escape. Dark still being a massive pain in the ass with his Zergling harass. Clem will not be able to keep reproducing like this. On the other hand, Dark is pretty low on bank as well now. Dark has spent most of his money. What's his income like? Not that high, but oh, Mass Ling Planetary snipe. Old school, baby. Don't see that move very much these days. Bio's going to take out that gold base, denying a little bit more of his mining. Oh, no, it doesn't. Lurker Ling comes in for the save. Gets a couple of those Lurkers with snipes. Nicely done by those ghosts. And he's going to click the hatchery down. Really well done. Command center in the bottom does get shot by the Spore Crawler a few times. He's going to try and land it there. Any mining he can get is very essential for Clem. He's got this base mining, a bit of the gold minerals. Going to deny this base as well. Supply is deadly close right now. Dark is not really spending his bank as quickly as I thought he would. I thought he'd just keep going with the Lingbane Hydra. And I actually think that could work because Clem is spread so thin. But Dark, I think, is worried that he's not being efficient enough. So he's kind of waiting for Clem to step into his territory, but that's not happening. Clem knows going on creep is a bad idea. If he could push this creep back, that would be very important. But shout out to Dark, who's only really built 10 queens in this entire game. He's only got 4 of them alive. And they've been very good at respreading creep on all sides. Oh, Lingbane Hydra ambush on the left. Clem saves all of the units. I can't believe it. Very well done with a hot pickup. 6 drones went down. Looks like there's a Liberator in the top that just picked off a bunch of drones on that base. The Rich Gas is still mining. He does redrop on the high ground, and that's a great defensive position. Dark needs to get out of there. When there's choke points like that, you cannot commit into that. Random Cyclones accidentally being built here by Clem. It's got to be a mistake, right? Clem only has 6 barracks, 2 factories, 2 starports. He doesn't have that much production. Oh, Clem! Can't be affording to lose any more command centers. Dark is down 12,000 resources in the units lost. This base being denied is very frustrating right now. He needs to get a Hydralisk up there. But he doesn't have anything except Queens that shoots up right now, so he's going to have to just double parasitic bomb it. Doesn't stack, so you got to wait for that one to wear off and then throw another one. Alright, Lurker does get pushed away after doing a bit of annoying harass. There's another Lurker down here. Turret does spot it. Turret will burn down though. Nicely done by Dark. He's got Infestors. Mass Zergling. A few Banelings and Infestors. Corruptors are now building. There is no Greatest Buyer though. The Corruptors I think are just there to deal with the Liberators. Dude, this game is still neck and neck. Clem is actually ahead in the money. Those orbitals he invested in earlier really paying off in the late game. Oh, here we go! Infestor goes down. Corruptor's doing what damage they can. Bio trying to pull back tanks. Liberators trying to do exactly what they can to hang on, but they are massively outnumbered on this front. The ghosts are cloaking and pulling back. The rest of the army is coming down. This is a pretty decent micro by Clem. I think that was actually a very good fight, especially if he keeps the command center alive. He comes forward one more time, but fungal ambush! Clem! Oh no! Unable to keep it in his pants. Clem shoves forward. He does take massive fungals to the face, but you know what? It might not matter. The medevac healing was good. He spread back with the units that weren't fungled. He's chasing right now, and that might just be a decisive enough fight because he's still ahead. 13,000 resources and units lost. Liberator's getting caught by Corruptors there. Clem counterattacks to deny this base. There's only 500 minerals left on it anyway. I don't think he needs to chase on creep right now, but I think Clem's definitely fully engorged as we speak. There's still Liberators all around. Liberator in the top left. Oh, that is gross. Nice harassment up in the top left. Really, really, really well played. Dude, this series has been an absolute barn burner. This has been amazing. What a fun series this was. Corruptors flying around. Bio moving all over the shop. Overlord's trying to pull back to the left. They're getting taken out. Oh. Yeah, I thought Clem was ahead. I really thought Dark got back in it very nicely. I guess when Clem overextended down here once or twice and kind of wasn't watching his army, but it's crazy to see this game go the distance. They're both so scrappy and very good under pressure players. Neuroparasite never got upgraded, unfortunately. And Clem now, I mean, it's just, he drops a base and he's got the mules available. Zerg has so much more mobility, so many more things that give you free vision and movement like creep. These are huge advantages, but even though Terran has to invest way more money into those buildings, it gives an insane payoff in late game where it's like, hey, if I get one base, I drop mules all over it, I have the equivalent mining to like 4 bases. Zerg's like, well, I have a base as well, but of course it caps out at a much lower mining rate. And that Liberator not sieging quite the way it should, does need to siege just a little bit further forward there for Clem. Bringing a few ghosts down as well. He's also making a nuke right now. That Liberator unsieges, resieges in the exact same position. And now he sieges in the right position. That gives time, of course, for the Corruptors to come forward. The Ghosts are going to try and snipe those Corruptors, though. That's actually really cute. Does take down a bunch of these Overlords. Snipe still does a lot of damage, but it does leave the Corruptors with 70 life as opposed to 30 life now. So those Ghost Snipes nowhere near as good as they once were, guys. It is interesting to see that change. Like, it still kills Psionic units, Infestors, and Vipers in one shot. Queens as well, I believe, are Psionic. Dude, Clem's got it. Clem's money is building. It's on Dark to do something. Dark's on just Lingbane Infestor. That army cannot be recycled. It's a one-punch army against the guy who's got thousands of minerals in the bank. He's got tanks everywhere. Bio, Lib, Ghost all over the map. And, all you've got is these minerals. No other minerals anywhere on the map. The Infestors are well placed. I mean, Clem definitely shouldn't be out here with so few units. He's going to get punished for it. But look at how many units he has behind that. And that's why you can't chase in. Lingbane Infestor pulls back. The Bio chasing after it. Stimpak's a good man. Those Marauders able to chase down a few of those units. The upgrade tab very pretty for both sides. But really well done by Clem. And I love seeing Alcyon played to the late game with all these bases in the bottom right being the last bases to be taken. Parasitic bombs all over those libs. But you're losing mining on your base. Damaging Liberators, picking a few of them off. It's good. One of them survives on 5 hit points. And overall, this is just a disaster for Dark. He's continuing to lose drones there. Because he was like, well, I've got way more drones than I need. I don't really care that much. What can he do? He's got Infestors on the right. Clem is now spread across 3 screens, making sure he is fungal proof. I'm surprised he's not just building turrets out here as well, to be honest. He's going to retake this base up here with an orbital. The Liberator continues to harass and ruin the drone count. Spy of Dark going from bad to worse. Whilst Clem still has this bottom right side entrenched. A tank, 3 Liberators, and a planetary. It's just, he creates these problems. There's nothing Dark can do to deal with them. And if we look there at the very end of that game, you can see started to come forward. Some Infestors got scanned. Ah, that's what happened, guys. Infestors got scanned. So Dark comes forward, tries to scan with these Infestors. Just on the right of our screen. And a scan goes down there. Blows up those Infestors. Spreads his units out. Dark tries to unburrow, but he knows it's done. And Clem wins game 3. And he earns his spot in the grand finals versus MaxFax.